The Assassin's Creed Infinity platform has been finally discussed and showcased at the recent Ubisoft Forward event, with the announcement of 2 new games planned for it, codename Red set in feudal Japan and codename Hexe, which has a gloomy and eerie side to it. In this new video, we're going to discuss all the information we could gather about the Infinity platform, including the Abstergo/Animus context that it seemingly will have, the final reveal of Project Red in the Japan setting, the very limited but super fresh and interesting teasers about Project Hexe, and maybe some teasers of our own at the end. So no time to waste, let's have a look at the future of Assassin's Creed. So yes, the future of Assassin's Creed has been finally discussed and teased at the Ubisoft Forward event during an interview between comdev Alice Terrett and actor Danny Wallace with executive producer Marc-Alexis Cote, whom you might remember from his time as a creative director on Assassin's Creed Syndicate or a senior producer on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and he is now executive producer on the entire Assassin's Creed brand, and that's why he sat down to discuss his and the company's vision on Assassin's Creed. According to Cote, the team wants to make history everybody's playground, and he described Assassin's Creed as a mix of historical accuracy and modern codes like the Animus, which allows to play as iconic characters while being immersed in historical settings. All this focus on history and the team's attempt to be courageous with it seem to be really interesting. It's actually where I want the franchise to go, to focus on history, because there's enough compelling material there without conjuring any magical mumbo jumbo or focusing too much on mythology. So I commend this stance, but I'll trust these words when I see them being matched in the opuses coming after Mirage, because the track record up until now, In this segment of the Forward event, Cote discussed the new Codename Jade open-world mobile game set in ancient China and the Assassin's Creed partnership with Netflix that includes a live-action TV series and a mobile game, which we're going to discuss in another video, because in this one we want to fully focus on Infinity and its related announcements. So in the final part of the Assassin's Creed showcase, Cote spilled some beans about the future of Assassin's Creed, that is the Assassin's Creed Infinity platform, and the first 2 games that are going to be released for it, and he did that with 2 teasers, each one introduced by a brief Animus/modern day context. We actually started from an Animus scream, and not just a random one, but an Abstergo one, showing that the context for Infinity might indeed be Abstergo being able to access several memories and time periods. We then transitioned to another screen where Abstergo's Animus is building a DNA database, and once the DNA database is built, we transition to another screen where the Animus is synchronizing the memory that we are about to see. So all of this may just account for some visuals for aesthetic purposes, but I also believe that because this intro has been used for both games from the Infinity platform and only them, this could also be our first look at how Infinity might be organized, with an interface taking place in the modern day where players, maybe as Abstergo employees, will activate the Animus interface, will have it build not a DNA sequence but a DNA database, which will allow them to explore different DNA strands and sequences from different users, which means different ancestors and different settings, and once the players have picked that amidst the variety of possibilities, they'll be able to access the specific genetic memories and start the stories in the various historical periods. We'll see if that's how this is going to be portrayed, but we're here for the more significant announcements, and the first one was the first game for Infinity, which after so many requests by the fans over pretty much 15 years, is going to be set in feudal Japan, which I'm so happy to see. It will provide a shinobi experience, which means a ninja experience as it was leaked already, and the game is currently named Project Red or Codename Red, which also had been leaked in the past. In the teaser, we see some classic feudal Japan buildings in the background, some trees and a waterfall as well, the setting sun at dusk, and of course, our very nimble, possibly feminine main character, with some of the recent leaks actually stating that it indeed might be a woman, although it's likely that players will also be able to pick a man, and this character is going to be a ninja. They are going to use a ninja to, which was a katana-like short sword allegedly used by the shinobi in feudal Japan, and, very nice to see, a hidden blade, which makes our main character hopefully an assassin, but you never know after seeing Eivor wearing a hidden blade. Project Red will be Ubisoft's next main Assassin's Creed game. It's going to be another open-world RPG game, and according to Coté, it will define the future of this genre within the Assassin's Creed franchise. It is being developed by the Ubisoft Quebec studio, whose recent outings within the brand have been Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Odyssey, and which I'd imagine might turn some heads here, at least between the hardcore fanbase, because of the sometimes overly lighthearted tone that both games had, and the profusion of mythology content and lore inconsistencies that Odyssey specifically had. But Coté really hammered on how the teams really want to focus on human history and historical accuracy, so I guess we'll see if things are really going to change here. But of course, the announcements didn't stop there, as Coté also announced the second Assassin's Creed game that is going to be part of the Infinity platform and that is currently developed by the Ubisoft Montreal studio. Currently titled Codename Hexe, Coté described it as a very different type of Assassin's Creed game before showing the teaser for it, which was pretty brief but also unexpected and surprising. In it, we could hear some ominous music playing in the background as the video showed a very gloomy forest environment, some dead leaves falling, the assassin's crest made out of wooden sticks, and the final logo of the game that features the same crest and a pentacle with some symbols written over it. And that was it for the presentation of Codename Hexe, as Coté didn't discuss the setting and time period, but instead mentioned that the teaser does feature a number of secrets that fans are supposed to find, and indeed it has. We already found them, but more on that at the end of the video. So the hosts of the show moved on and finally discussed Infinity in itself, while even showing a provisional logo in the background. Coté cleared it out once and for all. Infinity is not a game, it will be an entry point into the Assassin's Creed franchise, again very much stating, without saying it, that it's going to be a platform. Like we saw a few moments ago, it was confirmed that through this hub, players will be able to explore their own Animus before jumping into the various experiences. They keep calling them like that and not games, meaning that there might be something else beyond them. And through the platform, players will also hopefully be able to connect to each other. In other words, Coté stated that the teams are actually investigating how to bring some standalone multiplayer experiences back to Assassin's Creed through the Infinity Hub, and as of now, the only standalone multiplayer experiences that come to mind are the competitive multiplayer modes that were released for all the games from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood up until Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which ironically are going to be decommissioned at the end of this month. So hopefully the teams will bring back some experiences like the good old multiplayer in a modernized version, of course, so we'll be able to play them through the Infinity Hub. Alright, we did mention that we were able to extract all the secrets and decode all the messages of the Project Hexe's trailer. Well, depending on when you're watching, right now on screen you should be able to find a link to our dedicated video where we're finally going to show you everything, including a proper way to understand the setting of Project Hexe without the need of any leaks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.